Hey, how are you? Welcome. You're muted. That's okay. Let's get going and get started.
Hello.
So today is all about our perceptions and how we have the desire for things, but they don't happen. And we're blocked. No matter which way we turn, something always happens to stop us, slow us down, or send us backwards. And we want to change our relationship with that present moment. And so the exercise we do is perceptual shift, and I'm going to sneeze in a minute, I think. And you don't know what you want in life, really, because you already have it. We already have everything that we want. We live in an abundant world. We've got housing, we've got power, we've got refrigeration, we've got air conditioning, fans. We live in a first world country, and everything that we do is abundant. Even if we don't have much money, we still live in an abundant world. So the end result of this exercise is to be able to know that you can have it all now and accept that the present moment is greater than any future goal. And so
I've got everything I need.
Yeah, and we just want more. So we're happy with where we are now in this moment, and we just want more of it. And the metaphor for this is like the Red Queen effect. The Red Queen is quoted as saying, if you run fast enough, but you just stay exactly where you are. The faster we run, the more you stay where you are. It's a bit like slow motion. So a lion knows it must run faster than the slowest gazelle, or it will starve. Only the slowest gazelles get eaten while the fast ones survive. And look, the lions and gazelles are in a constant struggle to outrun each other for survival, but neither one of them surpasses each other. So the lions get the slowest of the gazelles, and the fast gazelles keep going. And so there's always that structure of balance for both to continue to exist, because it's a bit like sharks, isn't it? If you got rid of them, they're an apex predator. They keep the number of seals intact.
Yeah, that's right.
Or other creatures intact. And so that's how the Red Queen effect plays out, which proposes that beings must constantly adapt to survive while pitted against ever-evolving, opposing creatures.
Yeah.
Ever-changing environment. There has to be some sort of structure for everything to continue in balance, to continue existing. So creating the life that you want is the same in the metaphor, because we're in a situation where we're doing more, but actually receiving less. And you can see that in lots of ways in life. And we're always moving just fast enough to stay exactly where we are. And we can see that, can't we? Because you feel like you're on a hamster wheel. You just keep going round and round. So the thing to work with, and we call it the wizard's gate, is we say right now is better than any future. And we don't pause life to achieve happiness later. You know, it's like, if I have this, then I'll be happy. If I have money, then I'll be happy. And the other thing is, we don't want to give our power away. So we're always allowed to feel good and be motivated and excited to create the stuff that we love. And we're allowed to feel good even when we don't have the things that you would really like to have. Because what you really have now is always bigger than any future, because you already have it. So if we start to have gratitude that we're alive, that we're breathing, that we've got somewhere to live, we've got food, we've got everything else, then we know that right now is always going to be better. We don't know what the future is going to bring us. The future is sometimes some construct that we make where we think it is going to be better, like the grass is greener on the other side, but when you get to the other side, it's no different. And suddenly they've got a drought. So then you think, well, I wish I had stayed where I was. So we don't have to pause life, do we? Because we can find unhappiness in the search for the things that give us happiness. Because then we're always frustrated because we think that we need to be happy when we have something unattainable. But we can be happy now, or we can be unhappy now. And so why do we have to keep searching for happiness when it's inside us? Why do we always have to search for things outside of ourselves to make us feel good? When really we can be happy no matter what. And sometimes people think the happiest times they've ever had is when they had the least amount of things, because they weren't always trying to pay it off, or and when you think about corporate life, we've set the belief that if we endure all the hardships now to gain the money and the status, then we'll be able to enjoy life later. And don't you see that? You used to see that a lot with men working hours and hours and hours because they're thinking that that's the best for their family, but they miss out on watching the kids grow up because they're never home.
What?
And then the divorces because they were never around.
That's exactly what happened to me as a train driver. For the first 5 years of my son's life, I just really was either asleep or grumpy as a train driver. So I said, I can't do this anymore. I want to be part of my son's life as well.
So when you start to think of that, you can see, well, why do we have to kill ourselves and our relationships for some future happiness that we're missing out on now?
Yeah, that's right.
Why can't we design our life to be happy in the now, but create things for an even better future?
Yeah.
And so we don't want to give our power away. And that's the next point in this. We've created this paradigm where we deny ourselves that which we want now with an excuse that there's something outside of us that's going to give it to us. And if you're unable to have it right now, then you're going to give the power to whatever you think will give it to you. And you can see this when you give the power away, you become powerless. And you see this, a lot today, where kids don't have the same respect of looking forward to something. In a lot of, listening to this TED talk, they were talking about how a lot of these young people in their 20s, early 30s, if you don't give them what they want straight away, they'll leave. They haven't got the understanding or the concept of working towards something.
Yeah, it's just instant gratification sort of thing.
Yeah, so that's what they want. And so if you don't give them the weekend off, then they'll leave. So they'd sooner be unemployed to do what they want than work towards a vision of where they could be. And so what I want you to do is write down a list of things you don't want. Circumstances or conditions. And while you do that, I'll give you a minute. We'll play some dog snoring in the background as our background music as you write it all down.
Yeah, I like it.
Just so you feel you're at home.
Yeah, that's right. Mine's asleep too. Okay.
So now what I want you to do is I want you to write down what end results that you want to create that relate to what you just wrote and how.
So just virtually the opposite of each one.
Well, it can be, but what's it? What would be the
Is it
end
just-
result? What would be the choice? What would be the end result?
A good choice. If to reverse these, I mean, or just
Yeah. So what would relate to that? So what end result would relate to that?
well, I've written it all in words, like feelings, and so
Yeah.
I have to virtually do an opposite of each one.
So instead of that feeling, what feeling would you want instead?
Yeah. Yeah.
Now I want you to look at both of those. This, what you don't want and what you do want. And I want you to look at them as if you want them both at the same time.
Hmm.
I'm just thinking, wow, I've got both of them. You've got both of them now. But just think that I've got both now. And then I want you to just close your eyes. And I want you to just think from your heart space, choose what you love. What would you love?
Do you want me to tell you, or just think of it?
Write it down. You can just write it down. Yeah. And what will having that do for you is the next question. And then when you're ready, I
Hmm.
want you to write down what it's like now. What's it like right now for you? So when you've done that,
Mm-hmm.
what's your experience emotionally when you think about that? What emotions does it bring up for you? Not good enough, don't deserve it.
Yeah.
And so what would you have to believe to have that sort of experience? What would someone have to believe about themselves to have that sort of experience? So when you think about what you do want, that choice that you made of what you would like, what sort of resistances, inner conflicts, judgments, or stories come up for you? What reservations are there to have that?
You
Where's the power?
know, and going around in circles, really. Just thought processes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So when you think about that, so what we're going to do is we're going to do an exercise called Perceptual Shift, which is a 3-chair exercise. And you can set up 3 chairs. And so where's my little thing? You can have chair 1 here, chair 2 here, and chair 3 here.
Yep, pretty much got that.
Yeah. So what we're going to do, we're going to have you move from chair 1 to chair 2, then from chair 2 to chair 1. Chair 3 is your superconscious. And it's going to observe everything that's going on. And we're also going to shift into chair 3 at one point. Yep. So what I want you to do is I want you to sit down in chair 1. Yep, that's where you are now.
Yep.
And just give yourself permission to connect to your superconscious so that all aspects, parts, beliefs, stories, environments, and behaviors are on the treatment team. Everything that's ready is there. So imagine that what you have resistance with is sitting in chair 2. So you're sitting across and you're facing chair 2. And sitting in chair 2 is that resistance to that choice you just made. So initially we looked at all the emotions and feelings of what you don't want. So imagine all of those, plus your own resistances, your own beliefs, subpersonalities and aspects are sitting in chair 2. Yeah. And so I want you to look across at chair 2. And I want you to notice what your energy and your attitude to it are. So what's your belief sitting across from chair 2? So you can make it out to be a person or just energy or a thing. And you're looking across to chair 2. And what's it like to look across at chair 2? So you can imagine it.
Almost like I feel heat coming off it, like it's stressed.
Right, so write that down. Heat, stressed.
But it feels like I can help myself. It doesn't feel hopeless.
Right. So what color is it? When you look at it, what color is it?
Purple, maybe? I sort of feel fine about it. It's the part that needs to be shown the correct way to be. That's all. But yeah, it's like foggy sort of purple, I think.
Yeah, just close your eyes and whatever comes first. It's the foggy purple.
Foggy purple blue sort of.
Yeah. And what's the energy coming off it?
What is the energy coming off it?
If it's all your resistances, all the things that you don't want, and it's all your old stories and beliefs, what's the energy that's coming off it?
Limited.
Yep. So write that down.
Limited and compressed. old. Pointless. Feels like a pointless delusion.
Okay. So as you're sitting across looking at it, noticing the energy of it, what do you think its outcome is for you? So you're looking across at chair 2.
Same old, same old.
Just turn around and face chair 2 and close your eyes. And what's its outcome? Just whatever's the first thing that comes to mind. What does it want for you, do you think?
Yeah, like safety, I suppose. Normal. Okay. Yep.
So before we looked at our beliefs, your beliefs. So what do you believe about all those aspects and sub-personalities that are there? So they're foggy, purpley, bluey. And how does it make you feel?
How I feel about number 2.
Yeah, how does it make you feel? Everything you don't want to be. And it's all your sub-personalities, aspects, and everything else wanting to take you there. when you've written that down, I want you to stand up, shake yourself off, leave it all in the chair, and go and sit in chair 2. And now, as you're in chair 2, you're looking at yourself across in chair 1. So now you're all those things you don't want, all the aspects, subpersonalities and everything else. And I want you to see through their eyes, breathe through their lungs, hear through their ears. You're that fog now. You're that colored fog. And I want you to notice the energy that's coming off the you that was in chair 1. Now you're all the aspects and parts, and you're all the things that you didn't want. You are them, and you're looking at across at the person in chair 1. That was you. What's it like to be sitting across from you? What do you feel about David?
Yeah.
And what's his outcome? What's David's outcome?
So from the chair 2 perspective,
Yeah, you're in chair 2.
yeah.
So you're looking across at you, David,
Yeah.
who's in chair 1, or you're at this moment, all the things that he doesn't want, all the old beliefs and stories and behaviors and everything else. You're that purpley fog, the blue bits in it. So all of that is looking across into chair 1 where David was sitting, and David's sitting there, and you're looking at him.
Yeah. Well, interestingly, that I feel excited, like I'm going to be released when I look at myself there. Yeah.
That's good. So, all right, let's go with that. Now I want you, if you've got all that, I want you to get up now, shake yourself off again, and you're going to sit in chair 3 now as the superconscious.
Sorry about that, didn't I?
You're right. Now, as a superconscious, you've got access to every bit of information about the you in chair 1, David, and all the things that you don't want, all the emotions, subpersonalities, aspects, behaviors, and everything else in chair 2. And as the superconscious, I want you to close your eyes, and you're looking at both chair 1 and chair 2. And what's the energy like between them when you look at them?
it seems pretty good. There's respect there, and there's no hating or anything like that.
So if that's the case, why have you got so much resistance to moving forward?
Mm. That's a very good question. It's certainly an outdated ideal, I think, in self-protection.
No, but if you've got all that, why wasn't that in chair 2?
If I say what's that?
Well, if you said it's outdated, self-protection, why wasn't all that stuff in chair 2?
Oh, it was. Yeah.
Right.
I was just referring back to that because, yeah,
Okay.
it was, yeah.
So as you're looking at both parties and you want them to both have increased satisfaction so that you move forward and you step out of the funk and you step out of where you are and into whatever it is that you're creating, what needs to happen? So imagine that you're your superconscious now, you're back, you're superconscious, you're looking at you and all those things that you don't want, all those old stories, emotions and behaviors. There must be resistance because otherwise you would already be doing it. So as the superconscious, I want you to see what the resistance is. The things that you and all those different aspects keep hiding. So I want you to close your eyes, take some nice big deep breaths. And I want you to imagine that you're sitting in your heart and you're having that heart-mind superconscious connection. Because the superconscious has all the information that it's objective. There's no judgment here. And I want you to look at David and all the resistances. So David's in chair 1, resistances in chair 2. What's hidden? And superconscious, do you see that resistance? Superconscious, can you please treat and do a massive change history and everything is required and on all levels over all time and space? Looking at hidden resistances and just inviting all the hidden resistances to step forward, to be uncovered, uncloaked. That's it. And just keep treating until complete. Just taking all that information, superconscious, and placing it in a way of understanding, of completion, of shifting and changing perspectives. And just looking at how, as you're looking from the superconscious point of view, that the shifts and changes can happen between chair 1 and chair 2, between David and all the unconscious things. And bringing that information back. And just opening your eyes. If you need to write it down, write it down. And then standing up, shaking yourself off and going and sitting back in chair one.
Back in one, was it?
Yeah, back in one.
Back in one.
And you're sitting back with added perspectives that you've gained from the other positions. So I want you to think about the learnings that you've just uncovered as you were going through that process. What have you learned? What have you gained? What perspectives are
I think
different?
the biggest thing that became obvious was that I loved those other parts. I wanted to thank them and reintegrate them.
Yeah.
That was kind of surprising. I thought I had a low self-esteem in that department, but perhaps that's what's being generated now. Yeah, I just felt like number 2 is just completely outdated and sort of held together by string. That was the sort of visualization I got. Just a weak spider web holding the whole nonsense ball together.
And how does that feel then when you think about that can shift and change?
Yeah, that's awesome. I'd say that's what I've been chasing in a nutshell.
So you don't have to chase it. One of the joys about this work is you don't have to chase it.
Well, that's it, isn't it? But I just perhaps, may have previously been chasing something because it didn't actually have the target, but now it seems
so,
like
like we were talking about, we're always looking for that elusive thing, happiness.
Yeah.
Whereas if we stop, we can find it in ourselves. And one of the things about your ball of string with all these old bits in it, and there's all the things that you don't want that's sort of falling apart. You're stepping into a whole new identity. And so all that other stuff's just unraveling and leaving. And you really, I'll say you really didn't have to pursue anything for it to happen. It's just happening. And the more that you stay aligned and take the right action steps moving forward, then you'll keep integrating into your new identity, the new version, updated version of who you are. And you get stronger, more resilient, happier in yourself because you love yourself.
Yeah, that's important.
And you have all these new learnings. And your self-confidence comes up, your resilience gets stronger. Things shift and change around you. So I want you to think about now, because we want to anchor this new information in. And I want you to notice how your energy and your understanding towards the old you identity, all those parts and aspects are shifted. Yeah. So I want you to either an earlobe is a good one. So I want you to step into now that choice, that end result, and how it feels now when you think about being it. And I just want you to intensify that energy and feel how good it feels to have that balance, that integration. And then just take your fingers off and come back to now. Is it cold down there? It's cold up here. All right. And now putting your fingers.
It's going to rain too. Probably winter rain down here.
Yeah. So fingers back on your earlobe again. And just get into those feelings again, how amazing it feels that you're strong, resilient, you're happy. You're in control. You can create whatever you want. I'll say within reason. And just build up that emotion, and then that's it. And now letting go. So we're just going to do it one more time.
Mhm.
So yes, it's going to rain up here. It's cold today.
Mm.
All right, when you're ready,
Mm-hmm.
have to break state in between.
Yeah.
Holding that ear, getting into those emotions again, and really feel it. Feel how wonderful it feels that you're integrated and you've stepped into this new identity. And it's amazing. Just feel how different it feels. You're happy, you're contented, but you're creative. You're creating all this stuff. You've taken control of your life. Feels absolutely phenomenal. That's it. And just super conscious, please ground all these memories that we've touched on today and reconnect everything back into the matrix of the universe for more satisfaction in life. And just taking away that anchor now, letting go. And knowing that you can just touch your earlobe and it's going to take you into that state. Yeah. And so just every time that you start to feel disconnected or those old thoughts and feelings start to come up, just get into that earlobe and balance yourself back and bring back this new information that you've got.
I've got some other ones to set up, like on my wrists and a finger.
Yeah. That's why I thought your earlobe might be a good place.
Yeah. They definitely work.
So
That's a good one.
it doesn't matter where you put it, just as long as it's not on top of something else. Yeah.
Yeah.
All righty, that's fantastic. I'm just going to stop the recording.